Hi there, and welcome to my review for Avengers Infinity War. So this is the new kind of video for me because I'm literally recording this the day I saw the film. My screening of Avengers Infinity War ended about an hour and a half ago, so I'm literally just doing this really just straight first reactions of the film. And that doesn't really matter for this film because Avengers Infinity War is a film I think which is all about the initial reaction. It's not a film that you can think about, because if you think about it you realise, my god, it's flawed. Like, really flawed. But as a film by itself, it's fun. And the key thing is, it's an event movie. It's a movie which has been built up over 18 films, over 10 years. I mean, Thanos himself, the main villain, has been built up for 6 years. He's only had 5 minutes of screen time. But if you slowly build up, and we get to this film with like over 20 lead heroes, a whole bunch of other characters, and a really massive, gigantic scale. It's a film which finally seems to set in motion the finale of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It feels like what everything has been building towards. And that is really important. It's a film that I can't respect artistically. I can't really respect it as anything besides a churned out blockbuster mega movie which has been made for pretty unartistic purposes just to make money here, let's be honest. But it works. It works really well, and it works solely on its ambition. It's such an ambitious film with so many characters, so many settings, so many ideas. It's messy and it's complicated and it's not particularly imaginative. It feels like a kid playing with action figures. It feels like people just hitting together, characters just meeting up who shouldn't meet up. It feels like everything just comes together. We finally get the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Earthbound Avengers, we get Thanos, we get all the characters that we've seen thus far finally meet up and finally team together, and it all just clicks into place. It's a film which really has developed its own legacy because it is the culmination of an epic cinematic universe that will likely not be beaten. I can't imagine any other series in the future doing what this does as well as it does. I don't think Avengers Infinity War is a classic. I think it's definitely got bad storytelling. My god, there's so many plot holes. And I'm going to be honest, the characters are pretty much mostly underdeveloped. Very few of them have any sort of arcs or legitimate sort of growth. There's a couple here and there that do, but unlike something like Captain America Civil War, which forced every character to go through an arc and a choice, there's nothing in here. It's all just standard stuff. They start off as they are and they end as they are. Some characters get a lot of screen time, as particularly say the Guardians, Thor, Iron Man get quite a lot to do. Unfortunately, I'd say some of them, especially Captain America and Black Panther, are woefully underused here. It's a film which definitely needs to balance itself out in the next Avengers movie, I think, to try and give heroes who are less seen here more time next time round. But nonetheless, as an overall thing, it works. It has its characters, it sets them up. I mean, it's a film that's interesting because it relies so much on you knowing previous movies. Obviously, the film is not so dependent that someone totally new cannot comprehend it. If you're totally new to the franchise, you can still sort of get the gist of stuff here. But anyone who has seen the other films will be rewarded loads in this film. This film rewards people who have stuck with the franchise, and I think that's something to be commended. It's not a bold movie. In fact, at every single opportunity where the film seems like it could be doing something risky and edgy and bold and out there, it almost always falls back on safety. And this is definitely a film which feels micromanaged, studio mandated. It feels like every level of it has been designed. It's not designed to tell a good story, it's designed to just not disappoint, and it doesn't disappoint. It is absolutely a joy to watch. It's a lot more serious than other MCU films, and the MCU has had ups and downs. I mean, obviously the MCU's had great films, it's had some films which are merely okay, bordering on bad, but generally speaking the MCU has been solid, and Infinity War keeps that up. It's a film which is the most average of the bunch in a way, because it feels like everything has been calculated. There's nothing here which is risky, there's nothing here which might not work. You know, even lesser Marvel movies tend to at least be riskier than this film. This film is only risky in as much as it has so many characters, but each and every character has been carefully developed and carefully plotted through this film. I understand why most of the cast never read the full script, because their characters are designed solely to just go from one place to the next. There's no interconnectivity beyond the fact that characters cross over from scene to scene. But it's nothing more than that. So it's a film which is definitely not bold, it's definitely unimaginative, it's definitely a film which is very much a studio-heavy industrial project. It's nothing to respect, really, as a work of art. However, it is fun. I genuinely sat there, I lost track of time and I had fun with this. It was a real joy. It's a film which really matters in just the fact that it's implementing something which no other film has ever done. To have this many characters in such an expansive universe meet up in such a big movie has never been done before in cinema, and that alone is a reason to see this film, just to witness what this is, because it is pretty much unique out there and it pretty much stands apart. So it's not a film which I think you could really call a work of genius, but I have to say this works so well. It is fun, it's entirely joyful. It is very, very serious by the standards of Marvel, so don't go into this expecting it to be a completely fun film, but it isn't a film which is depressing. It's a film which is joyful and it's an easy watch, and it just happens to be quite serious in its subject matter. I also have to just say, Thanos is easily the best developed character in the film. He gets a lot of screen time, and Thanos is probably one of the best MCU villains, like, quite easily. I think 2018 is probably the year where Marvel have finally nailed their villain problem after this and Black Panther both had great villains. So Infinity War across the board just sort of works. I can't say I respect it. I can't say I'm going to remember it soon. I've already started to find problems with it just in the past hour just through thinking about it. So it's not a film which I was blown away with, but I have to say this is effortlessly just fine and fun and something that matters in the grand history of cinema, even if it's ultimately quite an industrialised, artless mess. It's a mess, but probably matters. So yeah, I'm tempted to say it's a good film, but I'm going to just say Avengers Infinity War, it's an okay film, and that's fine. This isn't a film which is trying to be much more than that. It's just trying to give you a fun time, and it works. So yeah, Avengers Infinity War is a bit of a mess, but overall, a bunch of fun. Have you seen Avengers Infinity War? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave me a comment. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you want to subscribe, you can, because I post reviews all the time. If you want to follow me on Letterboxd or Twitter, you can. Links in the description. Thank you for watching, and Avengers Infinity War, it's an okay film.